have tested positive for COVID-19. It is still unknown if they're also positive for the more infectious variant. Global COVID-19 cases have reached the 96 million mark based on the tally of Johns Hopkins University. Vaccine czar Carlito Galvez Jr. reveals that the 500,000 donated vaccines from China are from Sinovac. The FDA notes that all donated vaccines must secure an emergency use authority in the country before distribution. After terminating its accord with the University of the Philippines, the Department of Defense now wants to bail from its security pact with the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. And let's take a look at how President-elect Joe Biden plans to spend his first days at the White House. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. Some close contacts and co-passengers of the first UK variant case in the country have tested positive for COVID-19. 4 of the patient's close contacts have not been tracked down. For more details, Greg Gregorio is reporting to us live from Mandaluyong. Hi, Greg. Are the positive samples going to be sequenced to ascertain the specific variant?
Sean, more than 10 close contacts of the first UK variant case in the country tested positive for COVID-19. It is still unknown, though, if they're also positive with a more contagious variant of SARS-CoV-2. 213 individuals were identified as close contacts of our index patient. Of this number, 13 were found to be positive with COVID-19. 8 are patients' co-passengers aboard flight EK332 who apparently tested positive from the swab test conducted upon their arrival. 2 other co-passengers, meanwhile, who initially tested negative upon arrival, now tested positive from the retest conducted. His girlfriend and travel companion, who also initially tested negative from the virus, now tested positive from the retest. Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergara explained that they may have only tested positive just now because they were probably pre-symptomatic at the time of their first test when they arrived in the Philippines. The index patient's mother, who have no reported physical contact with the patient, also tested positive with the virus. And the last one is a health worker who attended to the patient. All of these 13 are in quarantine. 5 samples from the girlfriend, the mother, 2 co-passengers, and the health worker have been sent to Philippine Genome Center for gene sequencing. However, the 8 other passengers have to be re-swabbed following the low viral load or high cycle threshold value on their initial specimens. Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergara explained that specimens with higher viral load or CT values of more than 30 or CT values of less than 30 are the ones ideal for gene sequencing as it yields more accurate results. Sean, the health department is still waiting for the results of the gene sequencing on the sent 5 samples. The index patient, meanwhile, remains to be in a stable condition at an isolation facility, while 4 of his co-passengers are left untraced. Sean?
Thank you for that update, Greg Gregorio, reporting to us live from Mandaluyong City. COVID-19 cases in the country have climbed to almost 506,000. The Health Department recorded more than 1,800 new infections today. Active cases are now at 28,900. Zamboanga City had the most number of fresh infections with more than 200. On the other hand, COVID-19 fatalities have breached 10,000 as 60 more people died from the disease. Total recoveries are now at almost 467,000, with around 700 new survivors logged in the last 24 hours. Meanwhile, the global COVID-19 caseload has topped 96 million based on the tally of Johns Hopkins University. Total COVID-19 deaths worldwide are now at around 2 million. And the national government is gearing up for the arrival of the first batch of COVID-19 vaccines starting next month. Health Secretary Francisco Duque III said they are now coordinating with more than 12 storage companies, 4 of which are considered highly qualified. As for talks with U.S. vaccine maker Moderna, vaccine czar Carlito Galvez Jr. said they are now planning on splitting the 20 million doses among the national government, LGUs, and the private sector. He also disclosed that the 500,000 doses donated from China or donated by China will come from Sinovac. The Food and Drug Administration has clarified that all donated vaccines must first secure an EUA in the country before use.
Once na we were not able to close the contract, nag-slip sa ibang quarter yung deliveries eh. Kasi nag-uunahan nga yung mga ibang countries. So hanggang hindi natin yung supply agreement, nag-slip out yung chances, baka mamaya mawala yung ating mga doses. So what I want is to really finish first itong negotiation.
We'll have more stories after this quick break. Stay with us. You are still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Another security pact of the Defense Department, this time with the PUP, is also facing possible abrogation. PUP students and faculty members held a protest to denounce the proposal. Marian Enriquez with the report.
Armed Forces spokesman Edgar De Revalo said the UP-DND Accord was voided as far back as 1991 when the National Police was established. Arevalo, who is also a lawyer, explained that the passage of time has created substantial differences on both parties.
That is under the doctrine of rebus sic stantibus, or the fundamental change in the composition or circumstances of the party.
Answering queries on lack of consultation prior to termination, Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana said the move would have been pointless. That's because he also firmly believes that the 1989 agreement has become obsolete. In a press con earlier today, Lorenzana insisted anew that the accord had hampered their operations in the UP campuses. The official also questioned what makes the university so special to have such kind of courtesy treatment.
So this agreement is a meeting of two minds, it is a meeting of two minds. Kung ayaw na rin isa, I think consultation is actually it's not needed. It's useless. No?
But Lorenzana assured UP stakeholders that they don't intend to curtail the freedom to protest. The official explained that their only objective is to get rid of underground NPA recruitments. He added that he will open himself for a dialogue if the university can explain one important matter.
Sagutin muna nila kung bakit namatay itong mga taong ito na kasama ng NPA. These are all. This is a list of students of UP from all UP campuses na namatay during encounters with the armed forces.
In an interview with the Chiefs, UP Vice President for Public Affairs Elena Pernia said they don't support acts that endanger the students.
Wala kaming nakitang organized recruitment, no, ng mga estudyante. Kasi actually, the university will not support any kind of sedition, any kind of violence, any kind of recruitment that would put our students in danger.
Over in Santa Mesa, Manila, students and faculty members of the Polytechnic University of the Philippines staged a protest earlier today. They are denouncing the proposed cancellation of the PUP-DND Accord, which also prohibits military operations in the campus without prior notice.
Itong accord na ito ay isang consensus, isang meeting of the mind ng Estado at ng mga kabataan guro para masiguro na magkaroon ng kaligtasan sa pag-iisip, pamamahayag ang mga guro at mga mag-aaral.
The Duterte Youth Party List called for the termination, saying the agreement also gives special treatment to PUP. Representative Duciel Cardema argued that schools without such arrangement has remained peaceful. Lorenzana said he has yet to receive a copy of the accord, but vowed to terminate it as well eventually. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
A political science professor says the Biden administration will have to catch up on the immigration backlog left by outgoing President Donald Trump. In an interview with One News, Professor Clarita Carlos noted that the 4 years of President-elect Joe Biden in office may not be enough to result in drastic immigration changes. Biden hopes to provide an 8-year path to citizenship for an estimated 11 million people living in the United States without legal status.
So maybe it's only the velocity, the speed with which they can do that, but because they have a huge backlog, I really don't know whether 4 years will be enough.
President-elect Joe Biden certainly has a lot on his plate as he enters the White House. Let's take a look at some of his plans.
Now, on day one, we're going to put our plan to control this virus into action. Begins with getting COVID under control.
For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Sean Yao, and we are One News.